If you've been dealing with erectile dysfunction or premature ejaculation, you want to know why you even have these penis problems, I created a questionnaire to help you to identify categorically where this is coming from. So this is going to be really helpful. I'm actually going to walk you through it. I'll ask you questions. You'll answer them with me on a piece of paper in your journal, or you can even download a PDF that we created for you. This is to help you to identify and become your own investigator, your own doctor to a degree. This is for informational purposes only. You're just starting to at least see where your issues are coming from, because maybe you're just looking in one area for a long time. You're focused on purely changing your diet or the mechanical, doing certain exercises, or even structural or medical, trying to figure out that there's something medically wrong with you. Before we get into it, I just wanted to share a quick review, quick success story from Vigor, which is our sexual strength program. You work with me, I'm your coach. You also have fully guided tools, exercise routines, meditations, all the things in there. It's pretty cool. So Daniel shared, I tried the Mojo program before, but did not quite connect with that program. I found the Vigor program to be much more helpful and effective. The Vigor program takes a more holistic approach, which helped me to connect with my body physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Daniel's doing amazing. I'm so glad that he is and that he found us and he did the Vigor program. So I'd love to have you guys in it as well. So let's go ahead and get into this questionnaire. First of all, we're looking at 4 categories of causation. And again, by the way, do this with me. After I go over the categories, I'm going to actually ask you questions. So for the 4 categories, though, we're looking at structural, mechanical, chemical, and psychophysiological. So just quickly, structural, we're referring to, is there something like tissue damage, infectious disease, cancer, tumor? There's something clearly wrong in this part of your body, a recent injury even to your penis, for example, right? That would be structural. Mechanical would be more about movement, mobility, and we'll get into that. Chemical would be like what you're eating, other things that you're ingesting, putting in your body, even also considering testosterone levels. And then psychophysiological would be psycho meaning the mind and physiological regarding the body, things psychologically or emotionally or trauma, those things that we need to look at. There could be root causes. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I ask that you write down your answer. You can just get a piece of paper out or download the PDF, print it out, follow along with me if you'd like, or you can type in your answers on that PDF. So I'll give you a moment to get ready. All right. So first one is, has a doctor found a confirmed structural issue? So in the past, was something like cancer, an infectious disease, existing tissue damage, from a recent injury, is there something found that is directly related to why you would be experiencing erectile dysfunction, for example, or an improper ejaculatory response? So you can just write yes or no, or if you want to elaborate a little bit, you could. But these would be very simple questions and answers. The next one, we'll move more into that mechanical category now. Do you live a sedentary life, getting little to no bodily movement each day? So you pretty much just seated all day, working at a desk, or not moving, not exercising. So let's now look at the chemical side. Do you eat an imbalanced diet with primarily processed foods? Are you mainly just eating junk or processed foods and you don't have a lot of variety in healthful whole foods? If that's the case, make sure you write down your answer there. Do you have healthy testosterone levels? Have you checked it out in the event there's some sort of hormonal imbalance that might be medically informed or could require additional investigation? That's one thing to look at there. So we've looked at the structural, the mechanical, and the chemical sections. We'll go to the psychophysiological category now. Are you currently experiencing a lot of stress? Did you experience stress or trauma in your childhood? Now this can be big T or little t trauma, meaning like sexual abuse, physical abuse, or being the middle child that just didn't get very much attention or time with your parents, or the expectations to be the best always, being a perfectionist, and that was ingrained in you, or other forms of stress or trauma that you experienced from your family or from school, from bullying. So was any of that in your childhood? Do you experience anxiety. So do you experience anxiety, anxious thoughts, anxious feelings and sensations quite often? Do you have difficulty calming the mind and being still inside? Is that challenging for you? Or if you want to, just shut everything down. You can sit still for 30 minutes and just relax and enjoy that presence. Or is that a challenging thing to do? There's no right or wrong answers. This is literally just for you to investigate. Next question, are you in touch with your emotions? Do you feel that you even know emotionally what's going on inside of you? The last question is, do you enact stress-creating behaviors such as perfectionism, having trouble with confrontation, being hyper-responsible, putting pressure on yourself, self-judgment, self-criticism, or lacking self-esteem, whether it be one of those things or many? Do you enact any of these stress-creating behaviors or personality traits or tendencies? So you might need some extra time. You, of course, could rewatch this video or simply print out that PDF. But which of those categories showed up for you? So maybe you're like, there was nothing structural found. Mechanically, I get exercise, I move my body. Chemically, I eat healthy, but I'm still dealing with ED or PE. Then the psychophysiological category is important. Did anything show up there for you? Maybe there is something else there. You're like, actually, I really haven't been moving my body very much. By all means, you definitely want to start there. You want to start by getting more exercise, getting more movement. And you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have a perfect diet either, by the way. But if you're eating complete junk and you have chemical imbalances, it can potentially have adverse effects on your genitourinary system performance. But again, structural, that should be quite apparent or obvious if there is something causing your issue there. So if you're pretty clear, though, that it's not structural, mechanical, or chemical, psychophysiological is really important because psychophysiological imbalances, they create sexual dysfunction because that's the brain creating genitourinary dysfunction. There are emotions that are not being expressed. There are stressors. There's anxiety. There's cyclical thought patterns. The nervous system is actually upregulated in fight or flight, freeze, or you're experiencing the state at the subconscious level, though. You might even feel it in your body, but you might not be consciously aware. You might ask yourself the question, I'm totally fine. Like, I've got a nice place where I live, and like I seem to have good relationships with people, and I make good money, and I eat healthy, and I get exercise. Like, but this one thing, like I'm not getting erections good right now, or I've always dealt with premature ejaculation. That's when we need to look deeper, right? We need to look deeper at how your brain can create sexual dysfunction, which we use the term mind-body syndrome, also known as TMS, and you can look up Dr. Howard Schuberner's work, a lot of other teachers in this field, to understand the science, neurologically, how it even takes place. But whenever you go to the root cause and you start to change the stress-inducing personality tendencies, or you clear out psychological conflicts, you start to make changes, or you actually recognize the emotions that have been repressed and suppressed and let them come up to the surface. Your body changes and functions differently. And if you want to then start doing Kegels, and you want to do the big draw, and you want to do Montauk Chia's work, Taoist sexuality practices, and you want to do edging, and all of these things actually work better then because they're not fighting against neural circuit dysfunction. So when your body as the organism is in balance and harmony, and if you then want to start to strengthen and train and change a particular area of your life, it happens much more successfully. So I hope this was really helpful. Definitely let me know in the comments what came up for you whenever you did your questionnaire, and if you have any other questions. And I'd love to work with you. If you haven't done our Vigor 7-day Kickstart, by the way, it's a 7-day free sexual strength program. I go in depth into the root cause of non-structural penis problems ultimately. So you understand what's causing this and how to change it. And you also get really nice tools, movement routine, a breath work, purely for free. It's in the 7-day Kickstart. So definitely start there, and I look forward to seeing you guys soon.